Hello everyone, how's your week been? Mine's been a bit up and down, a little bit hectic. Getting that Hades 2 review out was absolute carnage. I made about 14 mistakes and had to keep re-uploading it, but we got there in the end and it is a very good game. Congrats to the winner of the free game from last week, your name's on the screen right now. If you'd like to save yourself a bit of bunts, head over to switchup.gg, you get 5% just for using our website. Happy days. Let's have a little gander, shall we, at the Eshop and see what the best deals are this week. If you enjoy the content, click buttons and stuff, and I'll choose a comment to be the winner for the week after. Alright, what are the best games on sale? Well, let's find out. Let's start then with one that's only available in North America, and it's Street Fighter 6 on the Nintendo Switch 2, which has a lovely discount, taking it down to, I think it's $19.99 or your regional equivalent. That's a great price, honestly. The worst part about the Switch 2 edition is the fact that they don't have a proper physical, but other than that, if you're a digital buyer, yeah, I mean, what a price drop since it came out. Glen reviewed this for us, and if you have played it on other systems, you're in for a really pleasant surprise because it runs brilliantly. Most of the fights are 60 frames per second with no drops. It's only when you're in the RPG style section where there's this open world where you may experience the 30 frames per second that I believe has also been on some other platforms as well. So yeah, it's not a problem at all. Gameplay wise, really enjoyable. There's this very cool online element as well if you're into that, where you can actually visit an arcade and that's how you can observe people fighting. So you go there and literally watch their fights on the arcades. Very cool indeed, which has reminded me actually I need to go and see the new Tron film. I mean, if you've watched Tron, you know why that's reminded me of it. Flynn's arcade and all that. But yeah, I didn't even realise there was a new one in the works. I thought I was the only person that liked the previous films. So yeah, I've got to go down and catch it, see if it's any good. It'll probably be terrible, but to be honest, this is going to sound really weird, I don't mind a terrible film. You know what I mean? Because you're just there, no one can bother you. It's dark and chill, and you're just watching something and usually eating a load of pick and mix. So yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, Street Fighter 6. Its deepest ever discount. That sale goes on in the North American regions until October the 12th. GhostRunner is one I love to mention because it had such a redemption arc when it first released on Switch 1. There's no real nice way of saying it, it was such a state. Like, it looked like visual soup, performance was not great, and it went through a bunch of updates and patches. Oh, and by the way, thanks to the people that went and watched last week's All Patched Up episode, that's like the most successful one in a long time, so yeah, nice one. But GhostRunner followed a similar arc to many of the games I've looked at in that series, in that they just chipped away, kept improving it. They weren't doing it for money, they wanted their game to be as good as it could be, and eventually, I think it was version 1.4, something like that, where I played it and was like, wow, like this is such an improvement. The image quality came up, the performance came up, and it doesn't run at 60, which is, I guess, the caveat. But in terms of being playable, yeah, really good game where you're essentially parkouring your way through stages. It's one hit and you die, one hit and the enemy dies. Almost like a three-dimensional Akane, but that one at £6.24, it's just a really good price, and I think many of us are working on our backlogs or working on our Switch 1 catalogue while the Switch 2 gets its momentum going. GhostRunner, that sale goes on until October the 7th. Trials of Mana. This is a good one for any platform, Switch 1 or 2. On 2, I believe this runs at flawless 60. I'm sure that's right. It's scheduled to be in my next 60 FPS on Switch 2 video, but on Switch 1 it was fine. We reviewed this, it was our first ever visit to Square Enix in London, and we felt like two little kids in a candy shop. Well, two like almost 40-something kids in you know, it was just such a nice experience because you start things like the channel and you think, oh, wouldn't it be cool if one day we get to do blah? And we've done a lot of blah now, which is really yeah, we've actually, I can't say what it is, but we've got something very cool coming up, which we'll share with you and do a little vlog video for. That's in the middle of October, so something to look forward to. But Trials of Mana, if you enjoy the games in this style, the JRPGs, but they are with the action, real-time combat, this was one of our favorites. It's 60% off at the moment in all regions, so £17.99 or equivalent. That goes on until September the 29th here in the UK and October the 3rd in America. Pumpkin Jack is a great little one as we come up towards a certain time of year where there are lots of pumpkins, at least for people that do all of that. This one's 80% off, and it comes from a very small little indie who created what I would describe as Medieval. You remember Medieval, which was on the PlayStation 2? He's brought it forward for a modern audience. Actually, no, you can't use the words modern audience without you guys thinking that they've done some weirdness. No, he's brought it forwards, created his own thing, and it's really nice. Like, quite linear, but in the best possible PS2 style way. And at 80% off, takes it down to £4.99 here in the UK. America, sadly, you do not have this sale, so it is the UK and Australia only. In the advent of Final Fantasy Tactics, which we will have a full review of next week, we've got a performance review, and you can already see it's amazing. Square Enix have seen fit to reduce the price on a lot of their best Tactics games, so Tactics Ogre Reborn is the one I want to highlight this week. It's 60% off. If you're unfamiliar, Tactics Ogre actually came before Final Fantasy Tactics and probably inspired it. Well, it definitely did. And Tactics Ogre Reborn is a modern reworking of that game, and it's great. What I loved about this is I came to it off the back of Triangle Strategy, and while I loved the narrative of Triangle, this was just so much faster. Your combat is about 50% of your time, whereas Triangle Strategy, it's about 10. At 60% off, down to £17.99 as well, really reasonable price. The sales for that one go on until October the 2nd and 3rd in the respective regions. Now, I know Afterimage has had a bunch of mentions, but the developer just keep putting the price down. It feels like the whole Hollow Knight Silksong effect has really hit a lot of developers. So these Metroidvanias have been coming down and down, and at 80% off, it's the cheapest it's ever been. It's £4.19. £4.19 for a game that could take 20, 30 hours, and it is quality. I won't bang on about it too much. Look, you should own it already, but if you don't and you're a Metroidvania fan, this is the time. The sale for it goes on until September the 28th here in the UK or October the 7th in America. Abzu had to get a little mention. It's 75% off at the moment, which is a redonkulous £3.74. £3.74. There's not much you can get for that anymore. I've discovered my new favourite sweets, right? Sweets is like candy in America, isn't it? They're called Just Dates, and they've taken dates and applied some flavourings to them. They're not too unhealthy, like there's no E numbers or anything like that, but my goodness, they're amazing. So you got ones that are like Coca-Cola flavoured. I highly recommend them. If, like me, you just absolutely love your sweets, but you're trying to be at least a modicum more healthy, yeah, decent, really good. Just Dates. They are a bargain, that's for sure. They're like £1.50 a pack here, but you can only get them in obscure shops. Anyway, what's the game I'm talking about? Abzu, yeah, 75% off. Only takes around about 2 to 3 hours to finish. Does run well on Switch 2 actually, this one. You're making your way through the ocean. It tells a story about pollution and stuff as well, but it's not too on the nose. Lovely game, and from a team that really do care about what they're creating. As I say, that's Abzu, 75% off until October the 6th or 7th in your respective regions. It's good to mention Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, which is 65% off. It's just £15.74. I think we all know that this launched in a bad way. It just wasn't good. And it's a real shame as well because it's almost the swan song, I guess, of its creator who sadly passed away and is very much the spiritual successor to Suikoden. If you liked Suikoden, you will enjoy this. You really will. If you stick with it, there's over 100 different heroes to recruit. But there's always that balance, isn't there, between releasing something on time and releasing it when it's ready. Sadly, this is an example definitely of just trying to hit a deadline, certainly for the Switch version. So now after all the patches, I think it's playable. It's never going to be perfect, but realistically you don't need high frame rates to enjoy an RPG. That's Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, 65% off until October the 6th or 7th, depending on what region you're in. Ni no Kuni 2 is a beautiful game. While I enjoyed it originally on Switch 1, playing it on Switch 2 at 60 frames per second has been, it's just different, isn't it, sometimes? Now, I know literally in the last one, I was like, it doesn't matter, you know, you don't really need it in an RPG. No, past me, you're definitely right, you don't need it, but it is certainly nice, isn't it, when everything's running silky smooth. Especially, I will say, because this uses real-time action combat, as well as its strategy battle segments and its town building, so it kind of does quite drastically affect some of the gameplay. I just alluded to it there, but having those RTS battles is just a cool little addition I wasn't initially expecting. And then as you build up your town, that then gives you rewards and perks to help you in your action combat. And man, the artwork in some of the cutscenes and the earlier sections of the game are just fantastic. This has got a real tear-jerking story that took me off my feet. I was like, wow, I did not expect that. So yeah, if you're after an RPG that's going to take up quite a bit of your time, and for its cheapest price in the North American regions, you could do a lot worse than Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom Prince's Edition. The sale goes on until the 6th, but remember, it is US only. The last one, and while it is the kids' pick, I promise you can have a lot of fun with this. It's Wobbly Life. Now, you may be looking at that going, what on earth, Mark? You have lost the plot. But it's so much fun. While I'm making my videos, very often in the background, the kids are on the Xbox playing various games that they find on Game Pass together. And I saw them playing this, and it just looked quality. Like, you can imagine being a kid playing it and just having so much fun. A little bit like Human Fall Flat. It has those ridiculous physics. But you can go around different maps. In that regard, it has a slight Robloxy feel to it, but not quite as, yeah. But they were doing missions around this town, just like delivering things for people, causing a bit of mayhem, a bit like Goat Simulator as well, I guess, in that regard. But yeah, they loved it. Now, at the moment, it's down to its cheapest in all regions. It's £15.99, which isn't too bad. It does have 2-player local play as well, and there is an online option. The sale for that one goes on until October the 17th, and that is for Wobbly Life. That then, my friends, takes us on to our Savaloys selection. The games that are so cheap, they're probably already in your basket, but you just haven't got there yet. Cheaper than a Savaloy or a Fetcook, or basically anything else you can afford, like a pack of Percy Pigs. Now that's a good pack of sweets, man. SwitchUp. And I am going to use our new website for this so you can get a little glimpse at it. But look how it does the prices, just like we do. Awesome. So Ori and the Blind Forest was in the main video last week, but for £3.74, I think we can happily accept it into the Savaloys. An amazing Metroidvania with a Metacritic of 90%. Should be in your collection. I can't believe this one came out back in 2019. It still feels great. Children of Morta, that doesn't really need much introduction, does it? £2.96, 85% off until the 21st of October. If you've got someone that you can play, you know, in co-op with, this is such a good way of doing it. So yeah, really love this game. I love how much content they added for free. It's quality, really enjoyed it. As well as Children of Morta, the same publisher bought across Moonlighter, which just did such good numbers. Like, people loved it. It's down 90% to £2.25. We do have a review that you can go check out. I got a little bit like, I don't know, like in that review I sound like I'm spaced out or something, but yeah, the music was just so good. I might even include it in the background of this video. You run a shop in the daytime, and then at night time you go out spelunking in caves and defeating bosses to bring back more loot. Quality game, loved it. Flipping Death was another fun one actually. This is an American region sale, but it's like an adventure game where the main protagonist dies and then finds herself waking up and having to take on the job of Death, who has mysteriously disappeared. Really enjoyed it. And finally then we've got Leisure Suit Larry, but if you're like your old school adventures and don't mind some slightly on the nose adult humour, this was a good time. Not the best adventure I've ever played, but if I was paying a quid for it, I'm not going to be too upset. That's 95% off until October the 22nd. So my friends, that is it for this week. But if you've just been looking for deals and you want to save yourself a bit more, you can use our website, switchup.gg, and I will be giving you the link to the discount site when it's finished, but we're working on it. It needs a little refinement, but man, the guy is an absolute legend. I have never met an Aussie I didn't like. That is an actual fact. Thank you to our Patreons, our members, all of you that enjoy the content. And as always, for all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya.